Hey Dragon Slayers! Today's video is about the thyroid and how it affects insulin resistance. So, thyroid hormone does multiple things throughout the body. In fact, all cells respond to it. Thyroid hormone alters cardiovascular function, it regulates the nervous system, and is essential for healthy reproduction. But most of us think of the thyroid's action only in the context of metabolic function, as a cause of weight gain. While it's true that thyroid hormone acts as sort of a metabolic choke valve, it can increase or decrease metabolic rate by altering the rate at which the cell is working. This having a meaningful influence on modern obesity is very unlikely, as thyroid levels in obesity in obese individuals are often normal. Less well known are the thyroid's effects on insulin sensitivity. On average, the more fat you have, the more active your thyroid gland is. This is a type of thyroid resistance, where the body is less responsive to the regulation of the thyroid hormone. Interestingly, losing weight tends to reduce thyroid levels, suggesting that the body is more sensitive and thyroid hormone is more effective. Having too little thyroid hormone, or hypothyroidism, is associated with reduced insulin sensitivity. With less thyroid hormone production, the average cell will have fewer insulin receptors, which means insulin has a smaller effect. As a result, the pancreas will make more insulin in an effort to elicit a desired action, such as controlling blood glucose. Of course, with fewer receptors, the increased amount of insulin won't solve the problem. There are simply too few places for insulin to act. This feature of hypothyroidism is important. As we saw earlier, insulin resistance is connected to multiple chronic and potentially lethal diseases. So, because hypothyroidism is a cause of insulin resistance, understanding insulin resistance can help mitigate some of the complications typically associated with hypothyroidism. Importantly, hypothyroidism changes the way fat cells respond to insulin in a particular manner. With hypothyroidism, fat cells take up less glucose in response to insulin, but insulin is still able to block fat breakdown in the cell, preventing the cell from shrinking. So, as blood insulin levels increase with hypothyroidism, it is also very effectively preventing fat loss. On the other end of the spectrum, too much thyroid hormone, or hyperthyroidism, results in roughly 70% more insulin receptors on the fat cells. This means that each fat cell may be 70% more responsive to the fat cell growing effects of insulin, which potentially improves insulin sensitivity. As we'll discuss later, fat cells that can keep getting fat are a good thing for insulin resistance. The critical connection between insulin and obesity is not a key topic of Dr. Beekman's book, though it is essential in understanding the true cause of obesity, which is a bit more nuanced than simply caloric balance. Some hormones play nicely with insulin and some do not. But this reflects the nuance and delicate interaction of hormones within the body. While stress hormones tend to oppose insulin's action and drive insulin resistance, thyroid hormone has a more favorable, albeit complicated, relationship. Throughout this hormones discussion, we've been mentioning fat cells and how hormones regulate their function. In the next video, we'll be examining the fat cells themselves at a deeper level and their connection to insulin resistance. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.